Failure. It's a word we all know. But what if your whole life seemed like a series of failures? What if every dream you chased ended in defeat? What if every door closed in your face? Would you keep going, or would you quit? This was Abraham Lincoln. Before he was remembered as one of America's greatest presidents, before the Gettysburg Address, before the Emancipation Proclamation, he was just a man who kept losing. But one night, in the quiet of his room, staring at another crushing defeat, Lincoln made a choice that would not only change his life, but the fate of a nation. Lincoln was born in 1809 in a small log cabin in Kentucky. His family was poor, education was scarce. Books were rare treasures. As a boy, Lincoln worked the fields, chopped wood, and lived a life that gave him little reason to dream big. But he had a hunger for learning. He borrowed books, read by firelight, and filled his mind with ideas far bigger than his world. Still, poverty was not his only struggle. When he tried to run a store as a young man, it failed. He fell into debt. It took him years to pay it back. To the world, Abraham Lincoln was just another poor man with too many ambitions, and failure seemed to follow him everywhere. Lincoln's failures weren't just in business, they were personal. He fell deeply in love with Anne Rutledge, but tragedy struck. She died young. The grief nearly broke him. Friends worried he would not recover. And in politics, defeat after defeat. He ran for the Illinois legislature and lost. He ran for Congress and lost. He tried again and lost again. At times he was mocked as a man who could never win, a dreamer too stubborn to face reality. And yet, he kept showing up. Every election, every opportunity, he stood again, even when the world laughed. One night, after another crushing political defeat, Lincoln sat alone. The newspapers declared his career dead. Friends urged him to give up. He had nothing. No money, no powerful connections, no clear future. The silence in that room must have been heavy. It was the kind of silence where most men would give up. But Lincoln realized something. Failure was not a full stop. It was a comma. He picked up his pen. He wrote down his goals again. He whispered to himself that quitting was the only true defeat. If he could rise after this, he could rise after anything. From that night on, Lincoln changed the way he saw failure. Every loss became a lesson. Every humiliation became fuel. He studied harder. He learned to speak with humility, not arrogance. He connected with ordinary people because he knew struggle. He lived it. Slowly, his persistence began to pay off. He was elected to Congress. He became known for his honesty. They called him Honest Abe. People saw in him not a perfect man, but a man who understood their pain. Then came America's greatest test, the Civil War. The nation was divided. Slavery tore it apart. It was chaos, fear, and hatred on a scale no one had seen before. And the man chosen to lead through this storm was Abraham Lincoln. The same man who had lost again and again. The same man who once sat in silence, surrounded by failure. Now, he stood at the center of history, and this time he did not fall. Lincoln gave the Gettysburg Address, words that still echo today. Government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. He signed the Emancipation Proclamation, setting millions free. He held a broken nation together. But none of this would have happened if he had quit that night. Lincoln's story is not about perfection. It is about resilience. It is about refusing to let failure define you. So when life knocks you down, when the world tells you you're done, remember Abraham Lincoln, the man who failed again and again, but the man who refused to quit. And because of that, he changed history. If this story inspired you, join us at Recreate Your Mind. Subscribe and let history remind you, your greatest strength lies in never giving up.